Welcome, beautiful souls, to conscious frequency. Settle in, let your breath deepen, and allow your awareness to expand into this space of gentle inquiry and wonder. Today, we embark on a profound exploration, not of the forceful pull we commonly associate with gravity, but of its subtler, more elegant manifestations. We will delve into the gentle gravity and the hidden dancey, uncovering the poetic science that shapes our universe, our very being, and perhaps even the currents of our consciousness. Prepare for a journey that whispers secrets of connection and cosmic choreography. As you settle, I invite you to notice your connection to the earth beneath you. Feel its gentle embrace. Where are you listening from today? Share your location in the comments below, letting us know the corner of this spinning world you're joining us from. Your presence adds to the beautiful tapestry of our shared experience. If these explorations resonate with your soul, and you wish to continue this journey of mindful discovery, consider gently pressing the subscribe button. It's a quiet affirmation of your commitment to understanding the universe, from the grandest scales to the most intimate whispers of existence. Join our growing constellation of conscious minds. Over the next 2.5 hours, we will weave through concepts of universal attraction, the subtle forces that bind us, and the philosophical implications of a universe in constant, gentle motion. Allow yourself to drift, to absorb, and to connect with the profound beauty of the unseen. Let this be a space for deep listening, for profound peace. Before we ascend to the celestial, let us first appreciate the immediate. Our journey begins with the grounding presence that cradles us, the very foundation of our physical existence. Feel it now, that subtle, constant hug from the planet beneath you. It's not a force that pushes or pulls with aggression, but rather a deep, unwavering presence, gravity. It's this invisible tether that defines our up and down, the silent anchor in our spinning world. It's the reason your feet know the reassuring solidity of the floor, the reason your coffee cup stays put on the table. It's a feeling, isn't it? A gentle weight, not as a burden, but as a constant, comforting connection. It whispers to our very bones, a reminder that we are here, held, supported. This isn't a struggle against an external power, it's a fundamental aspect of our being, a deep biological embrace that shapes how we move, how we stand, how we simply exist in this physical realm. It's the first, most intimate relationship we have with the universe. And here's a thought to perhaps gently shift our perspective. Gravity isn't some external force that the earth applies to us, like a cosmic hand pushing down. Instead, it's an intrinsic property of mass itself. You, me, this chair, the planet, everything that has mass, exerts a gravitational pull. We aren't just passive recipients of gravity's attention, we are participants in its grand, silent symphony. We are, in our own small way, contributing to this universal dance of attraction. Think of it like this: the universe isn't a stage with actors performing upon it, but rather a vast, interconnected web, where every single thread is subtly reaching out, gently tugging at every other thread. We are not separate from this pull, we are woven into its very fabric. Now, the strength of this mutual attraction, this gravitational whisper, is a delicate balance of mass and distance. Imagine the immense, overwhelming embrace of a star, its gravity holding entire solar systems in its sway. Then, shrink your focus, infinitely, down to the minuscule, almost imperceptible tug between two tiny atoms. It's there, a faint, delicate whisper of connection. And here's a beautiful thought: our own bodies, composed of trillions upon trillions of atoms, are collectively generating their own subtle, gentle gravitational field. We are, in a very real sense, radiating our own tiny gravitational signature into the world around us. It's a humbling thought, isn't it? That even in our smallest moments, we are part of this grand, universal attraction. This constant, unseen influence profoundly shapes our perception of reality. Gravity is the unseen architect of our physical experience. It's the reason we perceive a stable ground beneath us, a predictable sky above. It's the silent partner in every step we take, every time we reach out to touch something. It's the reason our senses orient themselves in a particular way, the reason we understand space not as an endless void, but as a tangible, navigable landscape. It's the invisible hand that guides our balance, that allows us to feel the comforting resistance of the air as we move through it. It's the quiet foundation upon which our entire physical world is built. Imagine you are a tiny seed nestled in fertile soil. The earth doesn't yank you upwards, but gently holds you, nurturing your roots, allowing your leaves to unfurl towards the sunlight. This is the essence of gravity's gentle embrace, a constant, supportive presence. But what happens when we consider this gentle pull not just on our bodies, but on the very fabric of space and time itself? Einstein offered a radical reimagining, proposing that gravity isn't a force pulling objects, but a curvature in the very stage upon which existence plays out. And this is where things get truly fascinating, truly mind-bending. We're stepping out of the old Newtonian picture, where gravity was like an invisible, instantaneous tug of war across the vastness of space. Instead, Einstein, with his general relativity, painted a picture of gravity as something far more intimate, far more woven into the very fabric of reality. Imagine, if you will, that space-time, that inseparable dance of space and time, isn't just an empty stage. It's more like a vast, invisible, yet incredibly responsive trampoline, or perhaps a silken sheet stretched taut. And what gives this sheet its form, its very shape? Mass and energy. Anything that has substance, anything that creates a subtle, or not so subtle, dimple, a dent in this cosmic fabric. And what we perceive as gravity, this pull, this attraction between objects, it's simply the way things move along the curves created by these dents. Objects like our Earth or a falling apple aren't being yanked by some unseen string. They are, in essence, following the straightest possible path through a landscape that has been warped and shaped by the presence of other masses. It's a fundamental shift from an action at a distance to a localized, geometric explanation, where the geometry itself dictates the motion. To help us wrap our minds around this, let's conjure that classic image, the one that often pops into our heads when we think of space-time. Picture a perfectly stretched rubber sheet, vast and smooth. Now, imagine placing a heavy bowling ball right in the center. What happens? The sheet dips, it curves, it creates a beautiful concave hollow. Now, if you were to gently roll a small marble across this sheet, what would it do? It wouldn't travel in a perfectly straight line, would it? No. It would be drawn towards the bowling ball, its path subtly but surely bending, curving, spiraling in towards the dip. It's a simplified model, of course, this rubber sheet. Space-time is far more complex, far more dynamic, but it captures the essence of it all, how the presence of mass, like that bowling ball, influences the geometry around it, and how that geometry in turn dictates the motion of everything else. It's a silent, invisible conversation happening all around us, all the time. This curvature, this warping of space-time is the hidden dance. It's the cosmic ballot that governs the orbits of planets, the paths of stars, the very structure of galaxies. The Earth doesn't orbit the Sun because the Sun is yanking it with an invisible rope across empty space. No, the Earth is simply following the contours of the space-time that the Sun's immense mass has curved. It's like a tiny boat caught in a gentle, invisible current, a current that has been shaped by the presence of a much larger object. The same is true for the Moon orbiting our Earth. It's not being pulled, it's sailing along the subtle, yet undeniable, curve in space-time created by our planet. It's a cosmic waltz, a graceful, predictable movement dictated entirely by the geometry of the universe. And this isn't just some abstract concept for distant stars. Space-time is not merely a passive backdrop, an empty stage for the universe to play out upon. It's an active participant. It's dynamic, it bends, it stretches, it can even ripple like the surface of a pond. And everything that possesses mass and energy, from the smallest atom to the most colossal galaxy, contributes to this curvature. We, too, are part of this. Our own mass, however minuscule in the grand scheme, subtly influences the space-time around us, creating infinitesimally small curves. It's a continuous, interconnected network of influence, a vast, cosmic tapestry where every thread is woven into the shape of the whole. We are all dancing within this intricate, ever-shifting design. Think of a flowing river. A boat doesn't need to be pulled by ropes. It simply follows the path carved by the water itself. The currents, the eddies, the gentle slopes, they all guide its journey. Similarly, planets and stars are like boats, sailing along the currents of space-time, currents that have been shaped and molded by the presence of mass. It's a beautiful, elegant system, isn't it? Now, if space-time can bend and warp under the influence of mass, can it also be affected by something as intangible, as seemingly weightless, as light? The bending of spacetime by mass has a profound implication for the very pathway of light, revealing a subtle, yet powerful interaction. So, as we've been exploring this idea of gravity as this gentle, pervasive force, a curious question arises. What happens when something as fundamental as light encounters this curvature? It turns out light, this incredibly swift messenger of the cosmos, doesn't always travel in the perfectly straight lines we might imagine. When light passes near a truly massive object, think of a colossal galaxy, or an entire cluster of galaxies, a cosmic congregation of stars, something quite magical occurs. The immense gravity of these celestial giants warps the very fabric of spacetime around them. And light, like a tiny boat on a rippling pond, follows these contours. This bending of light's path is what we call gravitational lensing. It's as if the universe itself is subtly nudging the light beams, guiding them along a curved trajectory, a whisper of redirection in their otherwise unwavering journey across the vastness. This phenomenon, gravitational lensing, isn't just a theoretical curiosity, it's one of the most beautiful ways we've learned to observe the universe through gravity. Imagine gravity acting as a cosmic magnifying glass, a celestial lens crafted by the sheer weight of matter. When light from a distant galaxy, perhaps billions of light years away, travels towards us, and it happens to pass through the gravitational field of an even more massive object situated between us and that distant galaxy, the light gets bent. This bending can distort the image of the faraway galaxy, stretching it into ethereal arcs, or even forming complete rings like halos of light. Sometimes, it creates multiple images of the same object, as if the universe is showing us the same distant star or galaxy from slightly different angles, all thanks to the gravitational warp. It's direct, tangible evidence that spacetime isn't just an empty stage, but a dynamic, responsive entity shaped by the presence of mass and energy. Now, this might spark a thought: if light's path is bent, does that mean its speed changes? It's a fascinating point. While light always travels at the speed of light locally, meaning at any given point in its journey, its speed is constant. The journey itself through this curved spacetime can appear longer or take more time from our perspective, an external observer. Think of it like a runner on a track. If the track is perfectly straight, they cover a certain distance in a certain time. But if that track suddenly dips and curves, even if the runner maintains their exact pace, their path is altered. They might take a bit longer to reach the finish line, not because they ran slower, but because the geometry of the path itself is different. Light's speed is invariant, an absolute constant, but its journey through the warped geometry of spacetime is where the subtle deviations, the apparent delays, occur. This influence of gravity on photons, these fundamental packets of light, is a cornerstone of Einstein's general relativity. It confirms that gravity isn't just a force that tugs on things with mass, but a fundamental interaction that affects all forms of energy, not just matter. Photons, while they don't possess mass in the way a planet or a star does, are imbued with energy. And because they travel through spacetime, and spacetime is curved by mass, they are inevitably influenced. It's a profound confirmation that the universe is a deeply interconnected tapestry, where even the massless messengers of light are participants in gravity's grand, subtle dance. Imagine a perfectly smooth, flat road. A car traveling on it goes in a straight line, predictable and unwavering. Now, imagine that road is made of a thick, yielding jelly, and a heavy object is placed in the middle. The car, still trying to go straight, will naturally curve around the indentation created by the weight. Its path is no longer a straight line, but a gentle arc. Light behaves remarkably similarly on the road of spacetime. The presence of mass creates a dent, or a curve, in this road, and light, in its constant motion, follows that curve, deviating from what we might perceive as a simple straight line, and this leads us to an even deeper contemplation. If gravity can bend the path of light, shaping its journey across the cosmos, can it also affect the passage of time itself? That's a question that will gently guide us into our next exploration. The curvature of spacetime doesn't just affect spatial paths, it also subtly alters the flow of time, creating a gentle temporal dilation. When we talk about gravity, we often picture it as this invisible hand that pulls things together, like the Earth holding us to its surface, or the moon orchestrating the ocean's gentle sway. But Einstein, with his wonderfully curious mind, showed us that gravity is so much more than just a pull. It's a bending, warping of the very fabric of reality itself, spacetime. And this curvature doesn't just guide our journeys through space. It also, quite beautifully, tugs at the very flow of time, creating what we call time dilation. It's this idea that time isn't this rigid, unyielding metronome ticking away at the same pace for everyone everywhere. No, it's far more fluid, more responsive. Imagine time not as a single universal clock, but as a vast interconnected network of personal rhythms, each subtly influenced by its surroundings. This is a profound departure from the older, Newtonian view where time was absolute, a constant, unchanging river flowing with perfect uniformity. Einstein's insights revealed a universe where time is relative, a dancer responding to the gravitational embrace of mass and energy. So, what exactly does this temporal dilation mean? Well, one of the most fascinating consequences of this space-time warping is gravitational time dilation. It's the idea that time passes more slowly in stronger gravitational fields. Think of it like this: the closer you are to something truly massive, like a planet or a star, the more its gravity bends space-time around it, and this bending, this deeper indentation in reality, causes time itself to tick a little slower. It's like being in a valley where the air feels a bit thicker, a bit more settled, compared to being on a mountaintop where everything feels lighter, more expansive. For us here on Earth, this effect is incredibly subtle, almost imperceptible in our daily lives. The difference in time between your head and your feet, for instance, is so minuscule it's beyond our direct experience. But in the grand cosmic ballot, where objects of immense mass reside, this difference becomes significant, a fundamental aspect of how the universe operates. And this isn't just some abstract theoretical concept confined to the minds of physicists. We see its tangible effects every single day, perhaps most clearly in the technology that keeps us connected, our GPS systems. Those little satellites orbiting high above us, zipping around the Earth at incredible speeds, and in a weaker gravitational field than we experience down here, are a perfect, practical demonstration of time dilation. Because they're moving so fast, special relativity tells us their clocks should run slightly slower. But because they're also in a weaker gravitational field, general relativity tells us their clocks should run slightly faster. These two effects, counterintuitive as they might seem, must be precisely calculated and accounted for. If we didn't correct for both the speed and the weaker gravity affecting the passage of time on those satellites, your GPS would be off by miles within a single day. It's a beautiful, everyday reminder that time dilation is not just real, it's essential for the smooth functioning of our modern world. So, when we look out at the universe, we're not just seeing a vast expanse of space. We're also witnessing a complex, dynamic temporal landscape. Imagine time flowing like a gentle river, but this river isn't always the same. Near the immense gravitational wells of black holes, the currents of time would eddy and swirl, slowing down dramatically. In the vast, empty spaces between galaxies, where gravity is much weaker, the river of time might flow with a swifter, more unhindered pace. The presence of mass and energy sculpts this temporal flow, creating a universe where time itself is an active participant in the cosmic dance, not just a passive backdrop. Picture a vast, shimmering lake. The surface is smooth and even, reflecting the sky. But near a large rock submerged in the water, the currents might eddy and slow down slightly, creating little ripples that behave differently. Time, in this analogy, is the water, and gravity is the submerged rock influencing its flow, its very pace. It's a gentle stretch, a subtle slowing, a testament to the interconnectedness of everything. If gravity can subtly warp time, what does this mean for our perception of consciousness and its relationship to the universe? It's a question that invites us to ponder the deeper rhythms of existence. Now, we venture into the philosophical, exploring how this fundamental force might resonate with the very essence of our awareness. Our physical bodies, you see, with their undeniable mass, are not merely passive observers of gravity. We are, in fact, participants in this grand cosmic embrace. Think about it. Every single cell, every atom that makes up your being, from the tips of your toes to the very thoughts swirling in your mind, exerts a minuscule gravitational pull. It's like each of us carries a tiny, personal gravity well, creating a unique, albeit incredibly faint, gravitational signature. We're not just in the gravitational field, we are a part of it, a whisper of mass contributing to the vast, invisible tapestry of attraction that holds galaxies together. It's a humbling thought, isn't it? That this force, which shapes the orbits of planets and the very structure of the universe, is also woven into the fabric of our own physical existence, right down to the cellular level. As you listen, notice the subtle sensations within your body. Can you feel the quiet hum of your own physical presence, the gentle grounding of your being? And this brings us to a truly fascinating, and perhaps a little bit whimsical idea: resonance. Could our consciousness, or perhaps those subtle, energetic fields that seem to dance around our awareness, actually interact with or resonate with these gravitational fields? Now, this is venturing into the realm of speculation, of course, but it opens up such beautiful avenues for understanding interconnectedness that go far beyond the purely physical. Imagine our bodies not just as collections of matter, but as intricate symphony orchestras of subtle electromagnetic and, yes, even gravitational fields. Could there be a way that the frequency of our consciousness, the unique vibration of our inner world, finds a harmonious echo in the universal gravitational dance? It's like tuning into a hidden radio station, a silent broadcast of cosmic connection. Let's take this a step further, into a more philosophical realm. Does consciousness itself possess a kind of inner gravity? Think about the way our attention works. It has a pull, doesn't it? It draws us towards certain thoughts, certain emotions, certain cherished memories. There's a palpable pull. When we engage in deep contemplation, or when we experience a moment of profound connection with another soul. This isn't physics as we typically understand it, of course, but it's a beautiful metaphor for how consciousness seems to organize itself, gathering experiences and focusing its energy. It's like our awareness has its own gravitational center, a focal point around which our inner universe orbits. If we entertain the notion that consciousness has these subtle, energetic components, and if gravity is indeed one of the universe's most fundamental forces, then perhaps there's a deeper layer of connection waiting for us to perceive. It suggests we are not isolated islands of awareness, adrift in a silent void. Instead, we might be subtly influenced by, and in turn, subtly influencing, the universal gravitational dance. It's a vision of profound interconnectedness, where even our quietest thoughts might ripple outwards, touching the cosmic fabric in ways we can only begin to imagine. Imagine a vast orchestra, each musician playing their instrument with passion and precision. The sound waves, though invisible to the naked eye, create a palpable field of harmony, a rich tapestry of sound that fills the space. Our consciousness, much like these invisible sound waves, might interact with the subtler energetic fields of the universe, including gravity, in ways we are only beginning to truly understand. It's a beautiful thought, isn't it? That we are part of something so much grander. But what about the most extreme manifestations of gravity, where spacetime itself is pushed to its absolute limits? Prepare for a journey to the edge of existence, where gravity's pull becomes absolute, and the very laws of physics are stretched to their breaking point. We often think of gravity as this gentle, invisible hand that keeps our feet on the ground, that guides the moon in its silent orbit. But gravity, like consciousness itself, has its extremes. And at its most profound, it sculpts the most enigmatic objects in the cosmos: black holes. Imagine, if you will, the grand finale of a truly colossal star. Not just any star, but one that dwarfs our sun, a celestial titan burning with an intensity we can barely comprehend. When such a star exhausts its nuclear fuel, its internal fire, the very engine that held it aloft against its own immense weight, finally flickers out. And in that moment, gravity, its own creation, becomes its ultimate executioner. The star doesn't just fade, it implodes, collapsing inward with a ferocity that crushes every atom, every particle, into an impossibly small point. If the remnant core is massive enough, this collapse doesn't stop. It continues relentlessly until it reaches a state of infinite density, a singularity, the very heart of a black hole. This isn't just matter compressed, it's spacetime itself, warped and contorted into a cosmic abyss, a place where the familiar rules of the universe begin to fray. And at the boundary of this abyss, we find the as-event horizon. Think of it not as a solid wall, but as a shimmering, invisible threshold. It's the point of no return, a cosmic whisper that says, beyond here, there is no escape. It's defined by the sheer, overwhelming curvature of spacetime. Imagine trying to swim in a river that's flowing faster and faster, and at a certain point, the current is so strong, so utterly dominant, that no matter how powerfully you swim, you're pulled inexorably downstream. The event horizon is that point where the river of spacetime flows at the speed of light itself. Once you cross it, even light, the fastest thing in the universe, can't outrun the relentless pull. It's a boundary not of matter, but of possibility, a cosmic veil separating what we can perceive from what lies beyond. Now, what happens if something, or someone, were to venture too close? The experience would be unique, to say the least. As you approach a black hole, the gravitational pull on your feet, for instance, would be vastly stronger than on your head. This immense difference in force, this tidal force, would stretch you like cosmic taffy, elongating your body vertically while compressing you horizontally. It's a process affectionately, and somewhat grimly, known as spaghettification. Imagine being pulled apart, atom by atom, into a long, thin strand, a celestial noodle. It's a vivid, if terrifying, illustration of gravity's power to deform and reshape even the most robust structures. It's a testament to how gravity isn't just a force that pulls, but one that can fundamentally alter the very fabric of existence. And at the very center of it all lies the singularity. This is where our current understanding of physics truly falters, where the equations themselves seem to dissolve into paradox. It's a point of infinite density, a place where all the mass of the collapsed star is concentrated into zero volume. What happens at the singularity? Does time cease to exist? Does matter itself transform into something entirely unimaginable? We can only speculate. It's a cosmic enigma, a black box at the heart of these gravitational giants, a place where the universe keeps its deepest secrets. It's a profound mystery, a testament to the limits of our knowledge and the boundless nature of the cosmos. Imagine a waterfall so powerful that the water itself becomes a solid, unyielding curtain. Once you pass that curtain, there is no turning back, no swimming upstream. The event horizon of a black hole is like that ultimate waterfall for light and matter. Can you feel the immense power contained in these descriptions? It's a testament to the profound capabilities of gravity. While black holes represent gravity's extreme, what about its gentler, more pervasive influence on the vast cosmic web that connects everything? Beyond individual stars and galaxies, gravity orchestrates the grandest structure in the universe, the vast cosmic web. It's a thought that humbles us, isn't it? To consider that the same gentle pull that keeps our feet on the ground, that guides the moon in its silent orbit, is also the master architect of the cosmos itself. In the earliest whispers of the universe, when everything was a swirling nascent soup, there were tiny, almost imperceptible ripples in the density of matter. Think of them like the faintest of breezes disturbing the surface of a perfectly still lake. Gravity, with its patient, unwavering hand, began to amplify these tiny differences. It whispered to the matter around these slightly denser spots, saying, "Come here. Gather close." Over billions of years, this subtle invitation, this constant gentle tug, began to sculpt the distribution of everything we see, and indeed, everything we can't see, drawing it into an unimaginably vast and intricate tapestry. It's a slow dance, a cosmic ballet choreographed by gravity's invisible strings, shaping the very fabric of existence. And what a tapestry it is. This cosmic web, as we've come to understand it, is not a random scattering of stars and galaxies. Instead, it's a breathtakingly organized structure, like an immense, three-dimensional lace woven across the entirety of observable space. Imagine long luminous threads. These are the filaments, composed of countless galaxies and vast rivers of dark matter, all bound together by gravity's embrace. These filaments are not isolated, they intersect and converge at magnificent luminous knots, where the most colossal structures, the galaxy clusters, reside like pearls strung on cosmic strings. And between these vibrant threads, these densely populated highways of stars, lie vast, echoing expanses, the cosmic voids. These are the quiet, almost empty spaces where galaxies are few and far between. Gravity is the tireless craftsman, The unseen force that both builds these magnificent highways and carves out these silent, empty realms, maintaining this intricate, interconnected architecture. It's a testament to gravity's profound influence, shaping the universe not just in its local neighborhoods but on the grandest scales imaginable. Now, the true magic, the scaffolding of this entire cosmic edifice, relies heavily on something we can't even see: dark matter. This mysterious substance, which makes up the vast majority of matter in the universe, doesn't interact with light, doesn't emit, absorb, or reflect it. Yet, its gravitational influence is immense, like a silent, invisible giant holding everything together. Think of it as the invisible armature, the underlying framework upon which the visible universe is built. Without dark matter's pervasive gravitational pull, the tiny density fluctuations in the early universe wouldn't have had enough gravitational oomph to draw in enough ordinary matter to form the stars, galaxies, and the grand cosmic web we observe today. It's the unseen foundation, the silent partner in gravity's grand design, allowing the universe to assemble itself into these magnificent, sprawling structures. It's a humbling reminder that what we perceive is only a fraction of the forces and substances that truly shape our reality. So when we look up at the night sky, at the scattered diamonds of distant galaxies, it's easy to see them as individual entities. But gravity reminds us that they are all connected, part of a much larger, much grander design. Gravity is the universal binder, the force that pulls together the building blocks of the cosmos, not just in the intimate dance of planets around stars, but in the colossal, sweeping movements of galaxies across billions of light years. It's the invisible sculptor that shapes the universe on its largest scales, weaving together matter and dark matter into a breathtakingly intricate and interconnected structure, a cosmic web that speaks of unity and profound interdependence. It's a silent symphony of attraction, playing out across the vastness of space and time, a testament to the fundamental forces that govern our existence. Imagine a giant, intricate spider web spun across the cosmos. Gravity is the spider, patiently weaving threads of matter and dark matter, connecting distant points and creating a universe-spanning network of structure. Each galaxy, each cluster, is a dewdrop clinging to this immense, invisible silken tapestry, all held together by the unseen strands of gravitational force. It's a beautiful, almost poetic image, isn't it? To think of ourselves as part of this vast, interconnected web, woven by the gentle, persistent hand of gravity. But what if this cosmic dance is not just about physical attraction, but also about the fundamental forces that govern the very small? At the smallest scales, the universe operates under the peculiar rules of quantum mechanics. Bridging this with gravity is one of science's most profound challenges, a quest to weave together the whispers of the infinitesimal with the grand pronouncements of the cosmos. You see, we have these two magnificent, yet seemingly estranged, pillars of physics. On one hand we have quantum mechanics, the realm of the impossibly small, where reality itself feels like a shimmering probabilistic mist. Here, energy comes in discrete little packets, like tiny, indivisible coins, and outcomes are often a matter of chance, a dance of probabilities rather than a fixed, determined path. It's the universe of the atom, the subatomic particle, where things can be in multiple places at once, a truly mind-bending bullet. Then, on the other hand, we have general relativity, Einstein's masterpiece, which describes gravity not as a force pulling us down, but as the very fabric of spacetime gently curving, like a heavy ball placed on a stretched rubber sheet. This theory paints a picture of a smooth, continuous, and predictable universe, governing the majestic sweep of planets around stars and the silent, inexorable pull of black holes. The problem, the grand puzzle, is that these two descriptions, while incredibly accurate in their own domains, simply don't speak the same language. They're like two brilliant poets, each with their own unique style and vocabulary, trying to describe the same sunset, but their verses refuse to harmonize. To bridge this chasm, scientists have theorized about a fundamental messenger particle for gravity, a kind of celestial courier. We call it the graviton. Think of it like this: for electromagnetism, the force that binds electrons to atoms and lights up our world, we have the photon, the particle of light. It's the carrier of that force, the little packet that transmits the electromagnetic interaction. If gravity, like all the other fundamental forces, is indeed quantized, meaning it's made of discrete units, then it too should have its own particle carrier. The graviton is that hypothetical particle. It's thought to be massless, to travel at the speed of light, and to carry the very essence of gravitational attraction. Imagine a subtle, invisible ripple, a whisper of spacetime itself, passing from one object to another, carrying the news of their mutual attraction. That's the graviton, the elusive ghost in the gravitational machine. Now, the quest to describe this quantum gravity has led to some truly fascinating and elegantly complex ideas. Two of the leading contenders are string theory and loop quantum gravity. String theory proposes that at the most fundamental level, everything isn't made of point-like particles but of tiny, vibrating strings. These strings, incredibly small, can vibrate in different ways, and each vibration pattern corresponds to a different fundamental particle, an electron, a quark, and yes, even a graviton. It's like a cosmic orchestra where each instrument plays a unique note, and the universe is the symphony. Gravity, in this picture, arises from the vibrations of a particular type of closed string. Then there's loop quantum gravity, which takes a different approach. Instead of focusing on particles as fundamental, it suggests that spacetime itself is quantized. Imagine spacetime not as a smooth, seamless sheet, but as a finely woven tapestry made up of countless tiny interconnected loops. These loops, like the threads of that tapestry, are the fundamental building blocks of space and time. Gravity, in this view, is a consequence of the geometry of these loops. Both theories are ambitious attempts to unify all the fundamental forces of nature, to find that single, elegant framework that explains everything from the tiniest subatomic flutter to the grandest cosmic dance. This ongoing search for a unified theory, often called the theory of everything, is one of the most profound intellectual adventures humanity has ever embarked upon. It's about finding the fundamental blueprint of reality, the single, overarching set of rules that govern every interaction, every force, every particle, from the birth of a star to the smallest quantum fluctuation. This unification is absolutely crucial for understanding the most extreme environments in the universe. What happens inside a black hole, where gravity is so intense that spacetime itself is warped beyond recognition? What were the conditions at the very instant of the Big Bang, when the entire universe was compressed into an unimaginably small point? These are the frontiers where our current theories falter, and where a theory of quantum gravity is essential. It's about finding that single, elegant framework that describes all of nature's interactions, including gravity's gentle, yet all-encompassing, dance at all scales. Imagine trying to understand the ocean by studying only individual raindrops, and by observing only the massive currents. Quantum gravity is like trying to find the single, unifying principle that explains both the droplet's journey and the ocean's vast flow. It's the challenge of seeing the forest, and the trees, and understanding how they are intrinsically connected. And as we ponder these deep connections, a fascinating question arises: if gravity shapes spacetime, could it also influence the very nature of reality and our perception of it? Einstein predicted them, and now we can detect them: gravitational waves, the tremors left by the most violent cosmic events. Imagine the universe not as a static stage, but as a vast, shimmering tapestry. This tapestry, woven from the very essence of reality, is what we call spacetime. And just like a silken cloth, spacetime can be disturbed, it can ripple. Gravitational waves are precisely these ripples, these undulations in the fabric of existence itself. They're born when massive objects, accelerating with unimaginable force, create a disturbance, a cosmic tremor that spreads outward. Think of them as the whispers of gravity, traveling across the cosmos at the speed of light, carrying with them the secrets of their violent birth. They're not sound as we typically understand it, no booming symphony, but rather a stretching and squeezing of space, a subtle, yet profound, distortion that tells a story. What kind of cosmic titans are powerful enough to stir this fundamental fabric? Primarily, we're talking about events that defy earthly comprehension. The most dramatic, the most profound, are the mergers of black holes. Imagine two of these infinitely dense points in space, spinning, spiraling closer and closer, until with an ineffable finality, they embrace and become one. Or consider the explosive death of a star, of supernova, where a celestial giant collapses under its own weight, sending shockwaves through the universe. And then there are those collisions of neutron stars, remnants of stars far more massive than our sun, packed so densely that a single teaspoon would weigh billions of tons. These cataclysmic dances, these ultimate cosmic encounters, are the engines that forge these ripples, sending them out to paint a picture of their fury across the vast canvas of space. Detecting these infinitesimal whispers is, quite frankly, a miracle of human ingenuity. It's like trying to hear a single raindrop falling in the middle of a hurricane, but amplified a trillionfold. Instruments like LIGO and Virgo are our cosmic ears. They employ an incredibly sophisticated form of technology called laser interferometry. Imagine two perfectly straight tunnels, miles long, with lasers bouncing back and forth. If a gravitational wave passes through, it infinitesimally stretches one tunnel and squeezes the other. These detectors are so sensitive, they can measure distortions, smaller than the width of a proton. It's a testament to our ability to perceive the almost imperceptible, to tune into the subtlest vibrations of reality. It's a truly awe-inspiring feat, a dance of light and precision that allows us to witness the universe's most dramatic moments. And what does this newfound ability grant us? It's like we've been living in a world where we could only see, and suddenly, we can hear. Gravitational wave astronomy opens a completely new window onto the universe, a way to perceive events that are otherwise invisible to our traditional electromagnetic telescopes. We can now hear the mergers of black holes, witness the birth pangs of neutron stars, and probe the very edges of physics in ways we could only dream of before. It's a direct, unadulterated glimpse into the most extreme environments, offering us unprecedented insights into the fundamental nature of gravity and the cosmos itself. It's a profound expansion of our senses, allowing us to experience the universe in a richer, more complete way. Imagine dropping a pebble into a perfectly still pond. Ripples spread across the surface. Gravitational waves are similar, but instead of water, it's spacetime itself rippling, caused by cosmic events like the collision of two colossal stones. If gravity creates these ripples, could it also be linked to the very expansion of the universe itself? The universe is not static, it is in a constant state of expansion, a grand ballad influenced by gravity and other cosmic forces. Imagine, if you will, peering out into the velvet dark, not with a telescope, but with a deep, quiet sense of wonder. For so long, we pictured the cosmos as a vast, unchanging tapestry, perhaps dotted with stars that twinkled with a steady, eternal light. But in the 1920s, a brilliant mind named Edwin Hubble began to unravel a different story, a story whispered in the redshift of distant starlight. He observed that the galaxies, those island universes far beyond our own Milky Way, weren't just sitting there, serenely floating. No, they were moving away from us. And here's the truly mind-bending part. The further away a galaxy was, the faster it was receding. It was like finding out that every single speck of dust in a room was drifting away from you, and the ones on the far wall were fleeing at an astonishing speed. This wasn't just a local phenomenon, it painted a picture of the entire universe itself, stretching and growing like a cosmic loaf of bread baking in an unseen oven. Now, when we think about the vastness of space, our minds often gravitate towards gravity. It's the invisible hand that keeps our feet on the ground, that orchestrates the orbits of planets, and that binds stars into magnificent galaxies. In the grand cosmic drama of expansion, gravity plays a crucial, almost reluctant role. It's an as-attractive force, a cosmic embrace, and with all the matter and dark matter scattered throughout the universe, it's constantly trying to pull everything back together, to slow down that outward rush. For a long time, scientists pondered this cosmic tug-of-war. They wondered if there was enough gravitational pull, to eventually bring the expansion to a halt, perhaps even causing the universe to collapse back in on itself in a fiery, dramatic finale, a cosmic sigh. But then, in the late 1990s, another astonishing discovery emerged, like a sudden, unexpected melody in the quiet hum of the cosmos. Astronomers observing distant exploding stars called supernovae noticed something peculiar. The universe wasn't just expanding, it was expanding at an as-accelerating rate. It was as if the cosmic loaf of bread wasn't just rising, but was suddenly being infused with an extra dose of yeast, pushing it outwards faster and faster. This acceleration was attributed to something we now call dark energy. It's a mysterious, pervasive force, seemingly woven into the very fabric of space itself, acting as an anti-gravity, a repulsive push that's actively counteracting the gravitational pull of all the matter. Gravity is still very much present, holding galaxies together, shaping stars, but this dark energy is proving to be the stronger, more insistent force winning the cosmic race. So, we're left with this beautiful, intricate dance, a cosmic tug of war. On one side, you have gravity, the persistent, inward pull from all the familiar matter and the unseen dark matter, trying to keep things together, to slow the outward momentum. On the other side, you have this enigmatic dark energy, a silent, invisible pressure that's pushing everything apart, accelerating the expansion. Understanding the precise balance, the nuanced interplay between these two opposing forces, is absolutely fundamental to grasping the grand narrative of our universe, its past, its present, and its eventual unfolding destiny. It's a cosmic negotiation happening on a scale that's almost impossible to truly comprehend. It's a bit like throwing a ball up into the air. Gravity, that familiar downward pull, is constantly working against the upward momentum, trying to slow its ascent, to bring it back to Earth. The universe's expansion is like that ball, initially propelled by the immense energy of the Big Bang, but gravity, the cosmic hand, attempts to slow its upward journey. Yet, it seems dark energy is like a hidden gust of wind, an unseen force giving that ball an extra, persistent push, making it fly higher and faster than gravity alone would allow. If gravity shapes the universe's large-scale structure, how does it influence the microscopic world of atoms and molecules? While electromagnetism dominates atomic interactions, gravity still plays a subtle, albeit minuscule, role in the quantum realm. It's a whisper in the cosmic symphony, a gentle nudge that's often lost in the grander movements. Now, when we talk about the fundamental forces, gravity is, to put it mildly, the shyest of the bunch. Imagine the electrostatic repulsion between two electrons, a tiny, charged dance of avoidance. Gravity's attraction between those same two electrons is so mind-bogglingly weak, it's like comparing a single grain of sand to the entirety of all the beaches on Earth. We're talking about a difference in strength that's a factor of roughly 10 to the power of 42. That's a number with 42 zeros after it, a vast, almost unimaginable gulf. This immense disparity means that in most everyday atomic scenarios, gravity's direct influence is practically invisible, drowned out by the boisterous calls of electromagnetism. It's so quiet, we often forget it's even there, like a silent observer in a crowded room. Yet, even this faint whisper is universal, and scientists have been diligently trying to tune their instruments to catch its elusive melody in the quantum world. There have been fascinating experiments, for instance, that have shown gravity can indeed affect the quantum behavior of neutrons. Think of a neutron, a neutral particle, a tiny speck of existence. Even this seemingly impartial entity, when nudged by gravity, can exhibit shifts in its quantum state. It's like discovering that the silent observer in the room is actually subtly influencing the conversations around them, simply by existing. These experiments are crucial because they confirm that gravity, as weak as it is, isn't selective. It's a fundamental aspect of the universe that touches everything, including the most delicate quantum phenomena. And this is where it gets truly profound. Even though its effect is so minuscule, gravity is a universal field. It's not confined to specific particles or interactions. It's a pervasive presence, an invisible fabric that stretches across all of space and time, influencing all matter and all energy. This means it is interacting with quantum particles constantly. These interactions are incredibly subtle, like the faintest ripple on a vast, still ocean, but they are there. It's a constant, gentle caress, a background hum that's always present, shaping the very stage upon which quantum events unfold, even if we can't easily perceive its touch. The quest to understand how gravity interacts with these tiny quantum systems is, in many ways, the holy grail of modern physics, the pursuit of a theory of quantum gravity. If we can precisely measure and comprehend how gravity influences quantum states, even in these minuscule ways, we can begin to unlock the deepest secrets of spacetime itself, particularly at the unimaginably small scales of the Planck length. It's like trying to understand the very texture of reality by observing how the gentlest breeze can subtly alter the patterns of falling leaves. Imagine trying to feel the gentle nudge of a butterfly's wing while standing in the heart of a hurricane. The hurricane, that's electromagnetism, a force so overwhelmingly powerful in this analogy. The butterfly's touch, that's gravity, incredibly weak, almost imperceptible. Yet, even in the midst of that tempest, the butterfly's wing is still making contact, still imparting a tiny, unique sensation, however faint. It's there, a testament to the universality of even the softest forces. If gravity can affect even the smallest, most fundamental particles in such subtle ways, it opens up a universe of questions. Could it, for instance, play a more significant, perhaps even hidden, role in the intricate biological processes that underpin life itself? It's fascinating to consider how the universe's forces play out at every conceivable scale, from the grand cosmic webs that bind galaxies to these incredibly intimate atomic interactions. From the effortless flight of a bird tracing invisible currents across the sky, to the patient, slow unfurling of a seedling pushing towards the sun, gravity subtly, yet profoundly, influences the very architecture and the intricate processes of life here on Earth. It's a constant, unseen hand. Consider the quiet miracle of gravitropism in plants. It's this fascinating ability, this inherent wisdom, for plants to sense and respond to gravity. Think about it: roots, with their tender, questing tips, know instinctively to burrow downwards, anchoring themselves into the dark embrace of the soil. And the shoots, the tender green messengers, reach upwards, seeking the sun's warm kiss. How do they know? Well, within specialized cells there are these tiny, dense little packages called statoliths. They're like miniature stones, and as gravity pulls on them, they settle at the bottom of the cell. This settling, this subtle shift, triggers a cascade of hormonal signals, like whispered instructions, guiding the plant's growth in precisely the right direction. It's a silent conversation with the planet itself. And for us, for terrestrial creatures, gravity is not just a suggestion. It's a fundamental requirement for our very structure. It's the invisible force that helps maintain our bone density, keeping those skeletal frameworks strong and resilient, like ancient, weathered pillars. It's what keeps our muscles toned, ready to spring into action. When astronauts venture into the vast, weightless expanse of space, their bodies, so beautifully adapted to Earth's pull, begin to change. Without that familiar gravitational stress, bones start to thin, losing their density, and muscles, no longer needing to work against that constant downward tug, begin to atrophy, to waste away. It's a stark reminder of how deeply intertwined we are with this gentle, persistent force. Then there's our own inner compass, our sense of balance and orientation. That's thanks to our vestibular system, nestled within the delicate chambers of our inner ear. It's a marvel of biological engineering, using gravity to tell us which way is down, which way is up. It's the silent whisper that prevents us from tumbling, that allows us to walk, to run, to dance, to simply stand upright with such effortless grace. It's the sensory apparatus that grounds us, that gives us that fundamental sense of spatial awareness, the feeling of being firmly planted on this spinning globe. But beyond these more obvious examples, gravity likely weaves a much subtler, more intricate tapestry within our physiology. It probably has myriad, quiet influences on the very way our cells function, on how fluids are distributed throughout our bodies, even on the delicate unfolding of development from conception. It's a constant, gentle pressure, a ceaseless, soft embrace, shaping and molding biological systems in ways we are only just beginning to uncover. It's like a sculptor working with the most exquisite, yielding clay. Gravity is like the subtle, constant pressure of the sculptor's hands, guiding the form and structure of the living organism as it grows and adapts, imbuing it with its unique shape and resilience. And this leads us to a truly fascinating thought. If gravity shapes our very bodies, if it dictates the way a root grows and a bone stays strong, could it also, in ways we can't yet perceive, influence the very patterns of our thoughts and emotions? While direct physical links are speculative, the influence of gravity on our physical being inevitably shapes our mental and emotional landscapes. And as we continue our gentle exploration of gravity's subtle embrace, let's consider something quite profound: the idea of embodied cognition. It's this beautiful notion that our thoughts, our feelings, even our very awareness, aren't just happening in some ethereal space above our shoulders. No, they are deeply, intrinsically woven into the fabric of our physical bodies, and how those bodies interact with the world around us. And what's one of the most constant, unwavering interactions we have with our world? Gravity. It's the invisible hand that keeps us tethered, that gives us our sense of grounding, our stability, our orientation in the vastness. Think about it. When you stand, the subtle pull downwards, the pressure beneath your feet, it's a constant, reassuring conversation between you and the earth. This feeling of being anchored, of having a solid foundation, it's not just a physical sensation, it's a fundamental building block for how we perceive ourselves and our place in the universe. It shapes the very architecture of our inner world, often in ways we rarely stop to consciously acknowledge. It's fascinating, isn't it, how our language, the very way we express our inner lives, is so steeped in this physical experience of gravity. We talk about feeling grounded when we're calm and centered, like a tree with deep roots. Or someone might be described as down to earth, suggesting a practical, unpretentious nature, as if their feet are firmly planted on the soil. And when we feel overwhelmed, we might say we're falling, or that our spirits are low, as if gravity itself is pulling us down into a somber mood. Conversely, when something wonderful happens, our spirits lift, as though escaping that constant downward tug. These aren't just random turns of phrase, they're echoes of our most primal physical sensations, metaphors born from the very real feeling of being held by the earth's embrace. It's as if our inner world, our emotional and cognitive landscape, is painted with the colors of gravitational force. Consider the flip side for a moment. What happens when that familiar pull is absent? Astronauts in space, floating weightless, often report a sense of disorientation, even anxiety. The lack of that constant, grounding sensation can be profoundly unsettling. It's not just their bodies that are affected, their minds grapple with this fundamental shift in their physical reality. This experience highlights just how crucial that connection to gravity is for our psychological well-being. That feeling of being anchored, of having a steady, predictable force holding us, can be incredibly calming. It's like a gentle, constant reassurance that we are here, we are present, we are held. It's a silent, ever-present lullaby sung by the universe, and its absence can leave us feeling adrift, a little lost in the cosmic currents. And this leads us to a more philosophical contemplation. Does the weight of our thoughts or worries have a metaphorical gravitational pull? When we're burdened by a heavy heart, does it feel like a physical force is dragging us down, anchoring us to a particular emotional state? Perhaps our consciousness itself has a sort of center of gravity, a point around which our focus and our stability orbit. Does the intensity of our beliefs or the depth of our emotions create a stronger pull, influencing where our attention settles and how firmly we stand in our own experience? It's a beautiful parallel, isn't it, drawing these connections between the tangible physics of the universe and the intangible workings of our minds, suggesting that perhaps the forces that shape the cosmos also whisper secrets to the inner landscape of our being. Imagine your mind as a ship on the ocean. The anchor of gravity provides stability, preventing it from drifting aimlessly. Without that anchor, even a gentle breeze could send it far off course. So, if gravity is so fundamental to our experience, so deeply woven into the very fabric of our being and our perception, what happens when it's absent or altered in ways we can artificially create? And as we ponder these questions, I invite you to consider this. How does the simple act of feeling your body's weight influence your thoughts or mood in this very moment? Stepping into the realm of weightlessness offers a unique perspective on gravity's fundamental role in shaping our experience. It's a sensation, isn't it? This immediate unmooring. Imagine the very ground, the very air, suddenly losing its familiar, insistent pull. For an astronaut, the first moments in orbit are often a profound sensory recalibration. Your inner ear, that delicate, fluid-filled labyrinth that usually tells you which way is up, is suddenly adrift. There are no cues, no down to anchor to. This can lead to a kind of sensory confusion, a mild disorientation that some call space sickness. It's like learning to walk again, but in a world where your legs don't know what to do. Your body, so accustomed to the constant, gentle pressure of gravity, has to relearn how to orient itself, how to simply be in this new, ungrounded reality. It's a quiet revolution happening within your own senses. And then, the body itself begins its own quiet conversation with this absence. Without gravity's steady demand, muscles, those tireless workhorses that keep us upright and moving, begin to atrophy. They don't need to fight so hard anymore, so they soften, they shrink. Our bones too, which are constantly being remodeled in response to the stress of gravity, start to lose their density. It's as if the body, freed from its earthly labor, begins to conserve energy, to adapt to a state of perpetual ease. Fluids, no longer pulled downwards, shift upwards, giving astronauts that characteristic puffy face and thinner legs. Even the heart, no longer pumping blood against gravity's resistance, can begin to decondition. It's a fascinating, if somewhat stark, illustration of how deeply our physical form is sculpted by this invisible force. Beyond the physical, there's a profound psychological and emotional ripple effect. For many, the sense of absolute freedom is intoxicating. To float, to drift, to be unburdened by the weight of your own existence, it's a liberation of sorts. You can move with a grace and effortlessness that's impossible on Earth. Yet, this freedom can also bring a subtle sense of detachment. Without the grounding force, the familiar anchor of gravity, some astronauts report feeling a little disconnected, a little adrift in a more existential way. It's a delicate balance, this feeling of soaring without being tethered, and it can be both exhilarating and, for some, a touch unsettling. But the human spirit is remarkably adaptable, isn't it? Astronauts don't just float aimlessly, they learn a new ballot. They learn to push off surfaces with a gentle fingertip, to glide through the pressurized air of the station, to navigate this three-dimensional space with a newfound elegance. It's a relearning of the body's interaction with its environment, a different kind of dance dictated not by the relentless rhythm of gravity, but by the subtle laws of inertia. They become masters of momentum, of controlled flight within their own confined universe. Imagine a fish suddenly removed from water and placed in air. Its entire way of moving and interacting with its environment is fundamentally changed. Astronauts in space are like that fish, adapting to a world without the familiar medium of gravity. They have to learn new strokes, new ways to propel themselves, new ways to simply exist in this alien element. If we can experience the absence of gravity, can we also manipulate it in controlled ways? The stories of astronauts often speak of a profound shift in perspective. What do you imagine it would feel like to float freely? While true anti-gravity remains a whisper in the winds of science fiction, our deepening understanding of gravity is already paving the way for some rather subtle forms of manipulation, like learning to hum along with a cosmic tune. Think about it. We can't exactly turn off gravity like a light switch, but we can certainly create the feeling of it. This is the essence of what we call artificial gravity. Imagine a vast, silent space station, a metal moon orbiting our blue marble. To keep its inhabitants from floating away like dandelion seeds, we spin it. This gentle, constant rotation creates a force pushing outwards, a centrifugal embrace that mimics the familiar pull of Earth. It's a beautiful dance of inertia and motion, a clever trick to keep our bones strong and our bodies feeling grounded, even when we're suspended in the velvet dark. It's how we might one day make long journeys through the stars feel a little more like coming home, a little less like being lost at sea. Now, let's gently touch upon a more elusive idea: gravitational shielding. Could we perhaps build a shield against gravity's embrace, like a perfectly polished mirror reflecting light? Well, according to our current understanding, painted with the elegant brushstrokes of general relativity, the answer is a resounding and perhaps a little disappointing no. Gravity isn't quite like a magnetic field that can be blocked or deflected. It's woven into the very fabric of spacetime, a curvature, a ripple in the cosmic ocean. To truly shield ourselves from gravity, we'd need to rewrite the fundamental laws of the universe, perhaps discover something entirely new, like a material that bends spacetime itself in the opposite direction. But that doesn't mean we stop dreaming, does it? The universe is full of whispers of the exotic. We hear tales of warp drives, of folding space like a piece of origami, of manipulating spacetime curvature in ways that sound like pure magic. These are the far-flung stars of our imagination, concepts that require breakthroughs we can barely conceive of today. They speak of the possibility of negative mass, of energy densities that warp reality in ways we only glimpse in the most abstract equations. It's like trying to imagine a color that doesn't exist, a scent that has never been smelled. So, here we are, standing at the edge of what we know. Our current mastery of gravity is like learning to read a few lines of an ancient epic poem. We understand its effects, we can simulate its presence through clever engineering, but to truly manipulate gravity itself, to command its very essence, remains a distant horizon, a shimmering mirage. Yet, it's this very pursuit, this yearning to understand the deep currents of the cosmos, that sparks the fires of innovation, pushing us ever forward. It's a bit like trying to stop a river from flowing by building a dam. You can't make the river itself cease to exist, can you? But you can skillfully redirect its waters, you can slow its powerful rush, you can harness its energy. Similarly, we can create the Zer's effects of gravity, we can mimic its familiar pull, but to truly stop or reverse gravity itself, well, that's a different kind of magic altogether. If the universe is a vast, intricate symphony of forces, what might be the role of gravity in the subtle frequencies that could potentially influence consciousness? What are your thoughts on the possibility of manipulating gravity? What would that mean for humanity, for our journey through the stars and within ourselves? Beyond the measurable forces, let us explore the more poetic, perhaps even spiritual, dimensions of gravity's pervasive influence. We've spoken of frequencies, of the subtle vibrations that hum through all matter and energy. Now let's gently consider, could the gravitational field itself, this fundamental, invisible embrace that holds the cosmos together, also possess its own subtle frequencies? Imagine it not just as a pull, but as a resonance, a deep, foundational hum that might, in its own quiet way, resonate with the very fabric of living systems, perhaps even with consciousness itself. It's a thought that stretches our understanding, inviting us to consider deeper, perhaps more poetic, connections woven into the universe's grand tapestry. Think of the universe not as a silent, empty void punctuated by distant stars, but as an orchestra, a symphony of vibrating fields playing an unending, cosmic melody. In this grand composition, gravity could be seen as the bass note, the constant, grounding frequency that underlies all other vibrations. It's the deep, steady rhythm that influences the overall harmony, the subtle underpinning that shapes the dance of everything from a single atom to an entire galaxy. It's the quiet power that gives shape and form to the boundless expanse, a constant presence felt, though rarely heard. And if we entertain the idea that consciousness isn't merely a byproduct of our physical brains, but perhaps exists as a field in its own right, a subtle energy that permeates and connects us, then it's not entirely beyond imagination to consider how this consciousness field might interact with other fundamental fields, including, yes, gravity. This is of course highly speculative, a gentle exploration of possibilities, but it aligns beautifully with our channel's core theme, the profound interconnectedness of all things, the idea that we are not separate, but woven into the very fabric of existence. For gravity, in its most profound sense, is the unifying principle. It's the invisible thread that binds the cosmos together, from the smallest, most ephemeral particle dancing in the quantum foam, to the majestic, swirling arms of distant galaxies. It's the ultimate connector, the force that whispers of fundamental unity, and in this sense, it suggests a profound interconnectedness that extends to every aspect of existence, including, perhaps, the very essence of consciousness, weaving us all into a single, magnificent whole. Think of a vast, silent lake. The surface might seem perfectly still, a mirror reflecting the sky, but beneath, unseen currents flow, carrying nutrients, shaping the seabed, and sustaining the entire aquatic ecosystem. Gravity could be like these unseen currents, a subtle, pervasive influence that shapes the entire aquatic ecosystem of reality, a constant, silent shaping force. As we move towards the end of our journey, let's consider how this understanding might guide us towards a more conscious way of living. Take a deep breath, and try to feel the subtle presence of gravity within and around you. What sensations arise? Gravity teaches us about descent and ascent, about stability and change, offering profound lessons for our lives. You know, it's a funny thing, gravity. We feel its constant, gentle pull, this invisible hand keeping us tethered to this beautiful, spinning planet. It dictates that objects fall, And in that simple, undeniable truth, there's a profound metaphor for our own human experience. Think about it. We all have our moments of falling, don't we? Those times when plans crumble like dry leaves, when our carefully constructed castles of certainty suddenly tumble down, or when we simply feel ourselves vulnerable, exposed. It's easy to resist this falling, to fight against it, to see it as a failure. But what if, like a ripe apple detaching from its branch, we could learn to accept the fall? To understand it not as an ending, but as a natural part of a grander cycle, a necessary descent before an eventual, perhaps even more glorious rise. It's like the earth breathing in before it exhales new life. And this same gravity, this force that pulls us down, is also what keeps us grounded. It's the invisible anchor that provides our stability, our sense of being firmly planted. This grounding isn't just physical, of course. It's about finding those core values that resonate deep within your bones, that unshakable sense of who you are at your very essence, and that quiet connection to something much larger than yourself, something that hums with the very rhythm of existence. When we cultivate this inner grounding, this deep rootedness, we build a foundation so strong, so resilient, that even the fiercest storms, the most turbulent winds of change, can't easily topple us. It's the strength that allows us to not just survive, but to rise again, perhaps a little wiser, a little more weathered, but undeniably standing tall. Now, think about those moments when you feel truly uplifted. When inspiration strikes like a sudden sunbeam, when laughter bubbles up from your very core, or when you feel a profound connection to another soul, a shared understanding that feels like it's defying gravity in a beautiful, metaphorical sense. This lift, this soaring sensation, often comes from these shared experiences, a common purpose, the warmth of love, the quiet hum of mutual respect and understanding. These are the forces that act as a counterbalance to the downward pull of life's challenges, the invisible wings that help us rise above the weight of everyday concerns. It's like being lifted by 1,000 invisible hands, all moving in unison. Life, you see, is a dance with gravity. It's a constant interplay of falling and rising, of descent and ascent. It's the ebb and flow, the inhale and exhale of existence. And by understanding this universal rhythm, by learning to accept both the downward pull and the upward surge, we can approach life with a greater sense of balance, a deeper well of resilience. It's not about conquering gravity, but about learning to flow with its natural forces, to embrace the entire spectrum of experience, knowing that even in the deepest descent, the promise of ascent always lingers. It's a gentle surrender to the grand, cosmic choreography. Think of a tree. Its roots go deep into the earth, embracing gravity for stability, drawing strength and nourishment from the very soil that holds it. Yet, its branches, with all their leafy grace, reach towards the sky, seeking the sun's warm embrace, yearning for light and growth. It perfectly embodies both the falling into the earth, the anchoring, and the rising towards the heavens, the aspiration. It's a living testament to the philosophy of falling and rising. And if gravity is so fundamental, so all-pervasive, how does it shape the very perception of beauty and order in the cosmos? The predictable, yet intricate, ways gravity shapes the universe contribute to its profound and awe-inspiring beauty. It's a silent, unseen hand, isn't it? This force we call gravity. And yet look around, or rather look up. The grand ballad of the cosmos, the celestial waltz that has played out for billions of years, is orchestrated by its gentle, persistent pull. Think of the planets, those luminous pearls, tracing their elegant ellipses around the sun, their paths as predictable as a heartbeat. And the moons, those faithful companions, circling their planetary hosts, each in its own quiet rhythm. Then zoom out further, to the galaxies, vast islands of stars, each one a swirling metropolis of light, held together in a cosmic embrace by gravity's invisible threads. It's this predictability, this regularity in their grand, slow motion dance, that creates a harmony so deep, so resonant, it feels like music for the soul, a visual symphony of order, playing out across the unfathomable stage of space. And gravity doesn't just dictate movement, it's a sculptor too. It's the force that pulls matter together, relentlessly, beautifully. It's why stars, those incandescent furnaces, are spheres, their immense gravity drawing every atom equally towards the center, creating a perfect, glowing orb. The same is true for planets, those rocky or gaseous worlds that populate our night sky. Gravity is the artist that smooths out the rough edges, shaping them into these symmetrical, elegant forms. But its artistry doesn't stop there. Look at the spiral arms of galaxies, those breathtaking pinwheels of starlight. Gravity is the invisible brushstroke that paints these sweeping curves, these cosmic whirlpools. And even on the grandest scales, in the vast emptiness between galaxies, gravity weaves a filamentary structure, a cosmic web that connects everything, a delicate, intricate lacework stretching across the universe. It's a testament to how even the most chaotic, seeming arrangements are, at their core, guided by a profound sense of order. Then there's the way gravity plays with light itself. It's a phenomenon called gravitational lensing, where the immense mass of objects like galaxies or black holes bends the very fabric of spacetime, and with it, the path of light. Imagine looking through a cosmic magnifying glass, or a distorted, ethereal window. Distant galaxies, their light stretched and warped, appear as arcs, rings, or even multiple ghostly images. It's like the universe is creating its own surreal, abstract art, painting with light and shadow, bending reality in ways that are both scientifically fascinating and breathtakingly beautiful. This distortion, this warping of light, adds a layer of profound, almost dreamlike artistry to our view of the cosmos, reminding us that even the most fundamental forces can create moments of unexpected, otherworldly beauty. Ultimately, gravity is the architect of the universe, the silent, tireless force that gives everything its shape, its structure, and its predictable dynamism. It's the invisible scaffolding upon which all cosmic wonders are built. From the smallest dust mote clinging to a planet's surface to the grandest galactic cluster, gravity is the unifying principle. It's this inherent order, this grand cosmic choreography, that speaks to something deep within us, doesn't it? A yearning for meaning, a recognition of pattern, a quiet appreciation for the intricate dance of existence. This predictable dynamism, this grand cosmic choreography, is a profound source of beauty that resonates with our innate desire for connection and understanding. Imagine a vast, intricate tapestry woven over aeons. Gravity is the thread that binds all the elements together, creating patterns, textures, and colors that form a masterpiece of cosmic art. It's a masterpiece that's constantly unfolding, constantly being rewoven, with every star's birth and every galaxy's slow turn. If gravity is so fundamental to order, what happens when that order is challenged or perceived differently? Our perception of reality is deeply conditioned by gravity, influencing everything from our senses to our deepest beliefs. Think about it. Our very senses, the windows through which we glimpse this world, are finely tuned to the constant, gentle tug of gravity. Our eyes, for instance, rely on a stable ground beneath us, a horizon to anchor our gaze. Without that reassuring solidity, that sense of up and down, vision itself would become a dizzying dance, a perpetual falling. And our touch, our proprioception, that subtle awareness of our own body in space, is a continuous conversation with our weight, with the pressure on our feet, the pull on our limbs. It's a constant, unconscious ballet, a negotiation with the Earth's embrace. Imagine floating freely, unburdened by that familiar pull. Our sensory tapestry would be so radically different, woven with threads of weightlessness, perhaps a heightened awareness of subtle currents, of shifts in pressure we barely notice now. It's a profound reminder that what we perceive as real is so deeply rooted in our physical experience. And this constant, reliable pull, it lulls us into a beautiful illusion of staticity. We see the ground as solid, unyielding. The mountains stand firm, the trees rooted. The world feels fixed. But this comforting sense of permanence, this perception of a static reality, is a direct, almost poetic result of gravity's unwavering embrace. It's a gentle masking, a soft veil drawn over the universe's inherent dynamism. Beneath that apparent stillness, everything is a blur of motion, planets orbiting, galaxies spinning, atoms vibrating with an unseen energy. Gravity, in its quiet persistence, gives us the illusion of an anchor, a stable platform from which to experience this grand, cosmic dance, even as we ourselves are hurtling through space. It's like watching a dancer on a stage. Gravity keeps them grounded, allowing us to appreciate the fluidity and grace of their movements, rather than seeing them simply adrift. Now, our individual experience of gravity, while seemingly universal, can subtly differ. Think about how you feel after a long day, or when you're feeling particularly energized. There's a slight variation in how that pull registers. But more profoundly, our interpretation of reality, the very meaning we ascribe to our experiences, is filtered through this embodied existence, an existence fundamentally shaped by gravity. What feels normal? What feels real? What feels grounded? These are all deeply gravity-dependent concepts. Our understanding of balance, of stability, even of our own physical boundaries, is built upon this foundational force. It's like trying to describe the taste of water to someone who has only ever known the salty tang of the ocean. The reference point is entirely different. And yet, there are moments, aren't there? Moments when the veil of gravity seems to thin, when our perception shifts, and a new vista opens up. Experiences like deep meditation, where the body can feel as if it's dissolving, or the vivid landscapes of lucid dreaming, or even those fleeting, altered states of consciousness, they can sometimes offer a temporary loosening of gravity's grip on our awareness. It's as if for a moment, the familiar tether is eased, allowing different perspectives, different ways of being to emerge. It's not that gravity disappears, but perhaps our relationship to it changes, allowing us to glimpse the underlying currents, the subtler energies that are usually masked by its constant presence. It's like stepping out from under a heavy blanket and feeling the air, truly feeling it for the first time. Imagine wearing colored glasses. Everything you see is tinted by that color, isn't it? Gravity is like a pair of universal glasses that tint our entire perception of reality, shaping what we consider stable, real, and even beautiful. It's the subtle, pervasive hue that colors our world. If our perception is so tied to gravity, what happens when we actively try to shift our internal state, to gently loosen the grip of those universal glasses? Beyond its physical pull, gravity serves as a powerful metaphor for the forces that draw us together as conscious beings. It's a silent, unseen hand that guides our interactions. We often speak of people having a certain gravity, don't we? A kind of inherent pull. It's that intangible quality that draws us in, that makes us lean closer, that makes us want to be in their orbit. It's not always about loudness or flashiness, but more about a deep, resonant hum that speaks to something within us. Think of someone whose presence simply feels right, whose ideas spark something in your own mind, whose very being seems to radiate a gentle invitation. That's their gravity at play, an invisible tether connecting your consciousness to theirs. It's the charisma that whispers rather than shouts, the influence that's felt in the quiet spaces between words. It's the natural attraction, the magnetic whisper that draws us into connection, often without us even realizing why. It's a beautiful mystery, this personal gravity. And just as mass attracts mass in the grand cosmic ballot, shared experiences, common values, and that sweet, elusive mutual understanding create a gravitational field of their own. When we find others who've walked similar paths, who've felt similar joys or sorrows, who resonate with the same fundamental truths, a powerful connection forms. It's like two celestial bodies finding their natural alignment, their orbits intertwining. This is the social gravity that binds us, weaving the delicate threads of community. It's the feeling of belonging, of being seen and understood, that arises from these shared gravitational anchors. It's in the laughter that echoes shared memories, the quiet nods of agreement that speak volumes, the comfort found in knowing you're not alone in your journey. This social gravity is the gentle force that keeps us tethered to each other, creating constellations of shared humanity. Then there's the weight of responsibility, isn't there? That sense of commitment, of love, of purpose. We can see this as a form of gravitational pull in our lives, too. It's what anchors us, what gives our days their shape and their meaning. It's the force that draws us to our duties, to the people we cherish, to the path we've chosen. This gravity isn't a burden, rather it's a grounding force, a gentle insistence that gives our lives direction and depth. It's the quiet pull towards caring for another, the steady draw of a promise made, the profound anchor of a deeply held belief. It's the invisible strength that keeps us from drifting aimlessly, providing a constant, reassuring presence in the vast expanse of existence. It's a beautiful, often subtle, force that shapes our journey. In essence, gravity is the universe's fundamental principle of attraction, a constant, undeniable pull. And metaphorically, this principle extends outwards, shaping our conscious connections, our shared humanity, and our innate, deep-seated drive to seek meaning and unity in this vast, wondrous universe. It's the universal longing to be drawn, to draw others, to find that harmonious dance of connection that makes existence so rich. It's the echo of the cosmos within our very beings, a constant reminder that we are all, in some profound way, connected. Think of a magnet. It exerts an unseen pull on metal objects, drawing them towards it, a silent, irresistible invitation. Our connections, our loves, our shared purposes act like magnets in our lives, drawing us together in a dance of mutual attraction, a gentle, constant pull that shapes our world. If we can perceive gravity metaphorically, if we can feel its subtle influence in our relationships and our lives, can we also learn to consciously work with its subtle influences in our daily lives, becoming more aware of the forces that draw us together? Just as celestial bodies maintain their orbits through gravitational balance, we can cultivate our own inner gravity for greater well-being. Think about it. We're all, in a way, little universes, aren't we? Spinning, orbiting, held together by unseen forces. And just like the vast cosmos, our inner lives have a kind of gravity, a force that keeps us tethered, centered, and moving with a sense of purpose. It's not about being rigid or unyielding, but about having a core, a gravitational center, that allows us to dance through life with more grace and less flailing. So, how do we begin to cultivate this inner gravity? The first, and perhaps most foundational, step is grounding in presence. Imagine yourself as a deeply rooted tree. The wind might rustle your leaves, a storm might bend your branches, but your roots hold firm, drawing sustenance from the earth. Practicing mindfulness, even for just a few moments each day, or engaging in meditation, or simply becoming acutely aware of the physical sensations in your body, the gentle pressure of your feet on the floor, the rhythm of your breath, the warmth of the sun on your skin, this is like strengthening those deep roots. It anchors us, making us feel more present, more stable, less likely to be swept away by every passing breeze of thought or emotion. It's in these quiet moments of being here now that our inner gravity begins to gather its strength. Then, we move to intentionality and focus. Think of a star, a magnificent celestial body, its gravitational pull drawing planets and asteroids into its embrace, dictating their paths. We, too, have a similar ability to direct our own gravitational force. This is about consciously choosing where to direct our attention, our energy, our attraction. When we set intentions, when we focus our minds on what truly matters, we're not just wishing, we're actively shaping our reality. It's like tuning a cosmic radio, selecting the frequency we want to broadcast and receive. This intentionality helps us navigate life's often dizzying complexities, guiding us towards our goals and dreams with a clear, unwavering pull. Next, let's consider emotional equilibrium. Life, much like the vast expanse of space, is full of unpredictable shifts and powerful forces. There are moments of radiant joy, like a supernova, and periods of profound darkness, like the void between galaxies. Cultivating inner gravity means learning to weather these emotional storms without being completely thrown off course. It's about developing a kind of inner resilience, a stable gravitational center within ourselves that holds us steady. When we can acknowledge our emotions without being consumed by them, when we can feel the ebb and flow of life without losing our footing, we are demonstrating a profound capacity for emotional balance. This is like a planet maintaining its stable, predictable orbit, even as the universe around it churns. And finally, the most potent force, the true connection to purpose. Our sense of purpose acts as a central, all-encompassing gravitational force in our lives. It's the sun around which our individual planets, our actions, our thoughts, our energies all orbit. When we are aligned with our purpose, our lives gain a profound sense of meaning and direction. It's this guiding force that draws our energies towards something larger than ourselves, giving our existence a cohesive, compelling narrative. Cultivating this sense of purpose is like aligning ourselves with a powerful ancient, guiding force, ensuring that our movements through life are not random, but directed and meaningful. Imagine a spinning top. Its stability, its ability to remain upright and twirl gracefully, comes from its core structure and the air's momentum it generates. It's not just about the speed but about the balance within. Similarly, our inner gravity is cultivated through practices that build resilience, sharpen our intention, and solidify a strong sense of purpose. These elements work together, creating that internal momentum and balance that keeps us steady, even when the world around us seems to be spinning out of control. If we can cultivate our own inner gravity, this remarkable ability to hold ourselves together, to draw things towards us, and to maintain a steady course. What does this tell us about the ultimate nature of attraction and connection in the universe? Gravity, in its physical and metaphorical forms, reveals a universe fundamentally built on attraction and interconnectedness. It's truly astonishing, isn't it, when you start to trace the thread of attraction? It begins so small, almost imperceptibly, in the quantum realm. Think of those tiny, energetic particles dancing their silent ballet, drawn to one another by unseen forces, like shy magnets finding their partners. Then, as we expand our gaze, this same principle of attraction plays out in the most ordinary of moments. The way a friend's smile can pull you in, or how a familiar melody can tug at your heartstrings. And then, of course, there's the grand spectacle, the celestial waltz. Planets like devoted lovers, circling their suns, held in an invisible embrace. Galaxies, vast cosmic whirlpools spinning and coalescing, all because of this fundamental, universal pull. It's a constant, a quiet hum that underlies everything. And gravity, though it might seem like just one force among many, is really the conductor of this immense orchestra. We have electromagnetism, with its vibrant sparks and magnetic fields, the strong force holding atomic nuclei together like a fierce hug, and the weak force, a subtle whisper of transformation. But on the grandest scales, gravity is the undisputed maestro. It's the force that shapes mountains, guides rivers, and, most profoundly, orchestrates the orbits of stars and planets. Understanding how these forces play together, how they harmonize and sometimes even contend, helps us glimpse the intricate, breathtaking symphony that is our reality. It's a complex interplay, a delicate balance that allows for everything from the formation of a snowflake to the vast expanse of nebulae. Now, let's gently pivot this idea of attraction towards something a little closer to home, something we feel every single moment: consciousness. Could our own consciousness be a form of attraction? Think about it. Where does your attention go? What do you focus on day in and day out? Those moments of intense focus, those heartfelt intentions, the waves of emotion that wash over us, aren't these all ways our consciousness attracts experiences? It's as if our inner world, our awareness, has its own subtle gravitational pull, drawing towards it the circumstances, the people, the opportunities that resonate with our inner state. It's a mirroring, a reflection of that same universal principle that governs the cosmos. So, when we look at the universe through this lens, it's not a collection of separate, isolated objects floating in a void. Instead, it reveals itself as a vast, interconnected web, a shimmering tapestry woven from threads of attraction. Every star, every planet, every atom, and yes, every conscious being, is part of this grand, cosmic dance. We aren't observers looking in from the outside, we are integral participants, actively contributing to, and being drawn into this universal attraction. It's a profound sense of belonging, a reminder that we are deeply, intrinsically connected to everything. Imagine, if you will, a vast cosmic ocean. Every drop of water, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is subtly connected to every other drop through the invisible, constant flow of currents. Gravity, in this analogy, is the underlying principle of this oceanic connection, the gentle, persistent force that draws everything into a unified, harmonious whole. It's the quiet power that ensures no drop is truly alone. As we approach the close of our exploration, what final thoughts can we draw from this gentle dance of gravity? How does this concept of universal attraction resonate with your own understanding of existence? Let us now turn our awareness inward, exploring the gentle gravity that awareness itself seems to possess. It's a curious thing, isn't it? This invisible pull, this subtle magnetism that our own consciousness exerts. Think about it, our attention, it has a pull. When we focus on something, truly focus, it's as if that thing begins to draw more of our mental energy, like a tiny planet gathering stardust. It makes it seem more significant, more real, more there. This is the gravity of awareness, a quiet force that shapes our subjective reality, coloring the world with the hues of what we choose to notice. It's not a forceful shove, but a tender beckoning, a soft invitation to draw closer. And in this gentle drawing, we find our anchor. Practices like meditation, or even just a quiet moment of deep breathing, they don't just happen to us. They actively anchor our awareness in the present moment. It's much like the familiar gravity that anchors us to this beautiful earth, keeping our feet planted, our bodies grounded. This grounding of consciousness, this anchoring in the now, creates a profound sense of peace, a quiet stability that can feel like coming home after a long journey. It's a stillness that allows the swirling chaos of the mind to settle, like dust motes finally finding their resting place. Our awareness also has a peculiar way of resonating with our inner states. It's like tuning forks, our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, and our awareness is the air that carries their vibrations. A positive awareness, a gentle accepting awareness, can amplify that positivity, making it bloom like a desert flower after rain. Conversely, a negative awareness, a critical, anxious awareness, can amplify that negativity, casting long shadows where light could otherwise be. This is the internal gravitational effect of our mental disposition, a silent, unseen force that shapes the landscape of our inner world. And then there's the gravity of intention. When we set clear intentions, truly and deeply, they act like a gravitational center for our lives. They pull our actions, our decisions, our very energy towards a desired outcome, like a sun drawing its planets into orbit. This inner directedness, this conscious choosing of a path, shapes our personal universe, guiding us through the vast cosmos of possibilities. It's not about forcing, but about creating a field of attraction, a gentle but persistent pull towards what we wish to cultivate. Imagine your consciousness as a vast, dark ocean. Your attention is like a lighthouse beam, a focused point of light, drawing in ships' thoughts, feelings, sensations and illuminating them, giving them form and direction within the immense, silent expanse. It's a beautiful dance of light and shadow, of presence and potential. If awareness has this inner gravity, this subtle but powerful pull, how does it relate to the external, physical force we've been exploring? Where does your awareness naturally tend to drift? Can you gently guide it towards a feeling of peace, a moment of quiet presence? We've explored the physical and metaphorical, the seen and the unseen. Now, let us weave together the threads of gravity and consciousness into a unified tapestry, a more complete picture of our place within the grand design. It's so easy to imagine consciousness as something ethereal, a ghostly whisper floating free of its earthly vessel. But our consciousness, this vibrant hum of awareness, is fundamentally embodied. It arises from and dances with a physical form, a form that's utterly subject to the gentle, persistent embrace of gravity. Think about it. When you feel heavy, truly anchored to the earth, perhaps after a long day or a deep sleep, your thoughts can feel a little slower, a little more grounded. Conversely, when you feel light, buoyant, perhaps on a crisp morning walk, your mind might feel more agile, more inclined to wander and explore. This physical grounding, this constant tug towards the planet's core, isn't just a background hum, it's an active participant in the very texture of our awareness, shaping how we perceive, how we feel, and how we are. Gravity, in its quiet, unwavering way, offers us a profound gift, a constant, reliable reference point in the swirling chaos of existence. Imagine trying to navigate a world without a consistent pull downwards. It would be like trying to build a sandcastle on a shimmering, ever-shifting sea. Gravity's stability, its predictable presence, provides the firm ground upon which our consciousness can take root, can unfurl its delicate tendrils of thought, can explore the vast landscapes of imagination, and create meaning within a predictable, comforting framework. It's the silent anchor that allows our inner worlds to flourish without being constantly buffeted by an unpredictable physical reality. And yet, even as gravity pulls us down, there's an undeniable, inherent drive within consciousness to the rise. It's that quiet whisper urging us towards knowledge, towards understanding, towards a deeper connection with the world around and within us. This isn't a defiance of gravity, but rather a beautiful interplay. It's the tension between being firmly rooted and yearning for the sky, the constant negotiation between the grounding force that holds us and the aspirational nature of our awareness. It's the deep-seated human impulse to reach, to learn, to transcend the immediate and touch the infinite, all while being held in the loving, firm grip of this fundamental force. Perhaps, as we contemplate this, we begin to see that physical forces like gravity and the seemingly intangible phenomena of consciousness aren't entirely separate entities, locked in some cosmic tug of war. Instead, they might be more like different facets, different expressions of a single, unified field of being. Each influences and informs the other in a continuous, subtle, and utterly exquisite dance. Gravity shapes our physical experience, and our physical experience, in turn, shapes the very landscape of our consciousness. They are two sides of the same luminous coin forever intertwined. Think of a kite. Gravity anchors it to the earth, providing the essential tension and stability that allows it to exist. But it's the wind, that invisible current of air, that allows it to soar, to dance, to reach for the vast expanse of the sky. Consciousness in this beautiful analogy is like the kite, grounded by the tangible reality of our physical form and the pervasive force of gravity, yet simultaneously capable of reaching for the heights, of catching the winds of inspiration, and exploring the boundless possibilities of existence. As we prepare to conclude this particular chapter of our exploration, what final reflections can we carry forward from this journey into gentle gravity? How does the feeling of being grounded, of being held by the earth, influence your sense of aspiration or your desire to explore the world around you? Our exploration of gentle gravity draws to a close, leaving us with a deeper appreciation for the unseen forces that shape our existence. And so, we've journeyed through the subtle, yet profound embrace of gravity. We've seen how it's not merely a force pulling us down, but a gentle curvature of spacetime, a cosmic tapestry woven by mass and energy. Remember how we imagined light itself bending, like a whisper carried on a silent breeze, as it passed by the massive stars, and how time, that ever-flowing river, can slow its pace in the presence of this gentle pull, a subtle dilation of moments. We've traced its hand in the grand architecture of the cosmos, from the swirling nurseries of galaxies to the quiet orbits of planets, and even felt its faint echo within the very fabric of our own lives, perhaps influencing the subtle currents of our thoughts and the rhythm of our breath. It's a force that's both infinitely vast and intimately personal, a constant, silent companion. But gravity, as magnificent as it is, doesn't sing its solo alone. It's part of a grand cosmic symphony, a breathtaking orchestra where every force, every particle, every flicker of energy plays its unique and essential note. Think of it like this: the electromagnetism that sparks the fireflies on a summer night, the strong nuclear force that holds the very heart of atoms together, the weak force that guides radioactive decay, they all contribute their distinct melodies to the universal composition. Our understanding of gravity, even as it deepens, is just one movement in this magnificent, ongoing piece. It's a reminder that nothing exists in isolation. We are all interwoven threads in a vast, shimmering, interconnected reality. And as we stand at the edge of this particular exploration, we must also acknowledge the beautiful mysteries that still shimmer just beyond our grasp. The quest to unify gravity with the quantum world, to understand the enigmatic dance of quantum gravity, feels like trying to catch moonlight in a sieve. And then there's the silent, persistent push of dark energy, the cosmic riddle that seems to be gently, yet relentlessly, expanding the universe. Even the nature of our own consciousness, that inner universe of awareness, remains a profound enigma, a nebula of questions waiting to be explored. But isn't there a certain magic in these unanswered questions? The pursuit of understanding, the sheer wonder of not knowing everything, is perhaps as vital as the knowledge itself. It keeps the flame of curiosity burning bright, illuminating the path forward. So, as we prepare to let this particular conversation gently fade, I invite you to carry this feeling with you. Carry this sense of interconnectedness, this quiet appreciation for gravity's subtle, persistent influence. Try to notice it not just in the grand sweep of celestial motion, but in the simple act of standing, of feeling your feet grounded on the earth. Feel it in the way a raindrop finds its way down a leaf, or the way a held breath eventually seeks release. Let this awareness of gravity's gentle presence become a quiet hum in the background of your day, a constant reminder of the elegant, invisible forces that hold our universe and ourselves in their tender, enduring embrace. Like a bell that continues to resonate after being struck, the insights from our journey will continue to echo within your awareness, subtly influencing how you perceive the world long after this conversation ends. What is one key takeaway from today's exploration that you will carry with you? We have journeyed from the grounding embrace of Earth to the far reaches of spacetime, tracing the subtle, yet profound, influence of gravity. We've seen how it shapes the cosmos, bends light, stretches time, and even influences the delicate dance of life and consciousness. It is a force that connects us all, a silent partner in every movement, every breath, every thought, a whisper in the fabric of existence. This exploration invites us to see the universe not as a collection of separate objects, but as a dynamic, interconnected web, woven together by the universal principle of attraction. Gravity, in its gentle persistence, reminds us of our deep belonging, our inherent connection to the stars, the earth, and each other. It's a constant, subtle reminder that we are part of something immeasurably vast and beautifully ordered, a cosmic dance that we are all invited to participate in, simply by existing. Imagine the silent ballad of galaxies, the tender pull between a mother and child, all orchestrated by this invisible, yet undeniable force. It's like a cosmic lullaby, sung in the language of spacetime itself. I invite you to share your reflections, your questions, or any moments of resonance you experienced during this journey in the comments below. Your thoughts enrich our collective understanding and create a beautiful, shared space for continued exploration. Let us continue this conversation, this gentle inquiry into the mysteries that surround us, like fireflies blinking in the deepening twilight. As this session gently concludes, allow the insights to settle like stardust within you. Feel the calming presence of gravity, your anchor in this moment, a gentle hand holding you softly. Drift into a state of deep relaxation, letting your breath guide you into a peaceful, restorative sleep. May your dreams be filled with the quiet wonder of the universe, the silent hum of creation. Rest well, dear listener.